I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. And all that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. All that I want, all that I need, all that I show is love. All that I think and all that I speak, all that I know is love. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. And all that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. Yes, all that I am is God. All that I am is God.
Hello, I am Lawrence Edwards, a practitioner at the Center. Please join me in prayer. There is only one life, one power, one source, one original impulse, only one thing that is at the source behind all that is. It is that which breathes my breath, which moves the blood in my body. It is that which has hung the universe. It is that which shows up in the smile of a baby. It is goodness. It is love. It is personal to me, for it is an expression of who I am, living as me. And as this is true for me, this is true for everyone who is listening. For each of us are a unique emanation, a unique vibration, a unique radiation of this thing called life, of love itself. And so I speak my word for this service and everyone involved and participating at whatever space that they are participating. Knowing right now that everything that is needed and wanted, desired, preferred is available, is possible to be received during this time. And it's with great joy, great love, and delight that I know that this is so. And in this knowing, there is gratitude such that I can release this word into that of God that has heard and agreed with already. And I simply let it go. And I let it be. And so it is. Here's today's affirmation from our Prayers of Wisdom and Vision book. I have full access to the love of the divine, and this allows me to practice releasing all blocks to love. I practice forgiveness, and my heart opens to a fuller, more profound experience of love. I wake up in love with life. Love restores my energy. Love brings me joy. And so it is.
Welcome. I'm still resonating with Lawrence's prayer because I needed to be reminded this morning what it is to be in spiritual community. So wherever you are, whether you're here in this sanctuary or watching online or will be watching at some other time, Thank you for creating spiritual community. Not surprisingly, I'm Tara Steele, the community minister here at the center. And I especially want to welcome any of you who are here for the first time, because you are most welcome here. If you have questions about what we do or who we are or how you might participate, there's a wealth of information on our website. I'm also here to thank you all for supporting this spiritual community, not just with your presence, but with your time and your talent and your treasure. Despite all that we've experienced in the last months, we thrive. And so if you're moved to continue or to begin to support us, I say thank you. With that, we're going to continue to enjoy some music and then the talk, always in community. Namaste.
1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la. La 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 la. We sit in darkness quietly, surrounded by a boiling sea, and I try to open my eyes a bit. For what I've seen, there are no words. The depth of how a soul can hurt. And I just try to open my eyes a bit. Here in the dark, I will peel back the layers of my heart. I'll stay with you, and we'll open to the feelings that come through. Me and you. You take the time to say what's true. Do you fear I'll raise my voice at you instead? I've tried to open my eyes a bit. Try to see the things you do with a little bit more room to move, as I just try to open my eyes a bit. Here in the dark, I will peel back the layers of my heart. I'll stay with you, and we'll open to the feelings that come through. Me and you. Though we come from different lives, I'll set my history aside to feel your point of view. 'Cause underneath suspicious words, I hear the ways that you've been hurt, and I want to know the way things were for you. Here in the dark, I will peel back the layers of my heart. I'll stay with you, and we'll open to the feelings that come through. Me and you. I see the light grow steadily. It's coming from inside of me, and I try to open my eyes.
Good morning, beautiful people of the Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa. How lovely it is to see you in 3D. It's wonderful. And that was Mr. Sky Nelson. I loved seeing him do it right here on that stage. And very soon we will be introducing more live elements because you know how we love our music. Isn't that the truth? And he has a new book out recently, A Scientist's Perspective on the Synchronicities that show up in life. Quite fascinating. So you can look him up on Amazon and read about the science behind these states that we as humans get into, where we flow with creativity and where synchronicities reveal themselves. I want to echo Reverend Tara Steele's welcome and thank you to our online viewers. I know the virtual experience is not everybody's cup of tea. And I want to tell you how much it means to me and the staff and the leadership that you have stayed with your community during inconvenient times. It means the world to us knowing that you are out there and now in here also supporting the center with your kind regard, your spiritual practice, and your support and your love. It gives us the strength to keep on going. And you've heard it said, we've done well, but that's in the context of a pandemic. We've managed. So we've got some catch-up to do and some rebuilding, structures to rebuild. And now that the state of California is opening up some more, I want to invite you online and I invite you to invite your friends to start thinking about joining us in person, again, in a safe and managed way. So starting next Sunday, next week, we're no longer required to do reservations. You don't have to do that. You can show up and there will be many more seats according to the legal maximum that we're allowed to have here. And you will be self-managed and we will still be required to wear masks, but slowly, we will start to feel the energy of being together in spiritual community. And I can see your little eyes for the people in the room right now, glimmering with hope and excitement, and I feel it too. So thank you for those people who are watching online, and please receive this as your formal invitation to start planning to take your pajamas off on Sunday morning and get dressed for celebration service with us. Of course, we will continue to keep our online presence for those people who are, for whatever reason, not able to attend, because we've collected community members now in different states. Well, I just taught a class in the past 5 weeks, and we had students in all different states and one in England too. So we are growing in ways we didn't know it was possible to grow. So we've got some building, some catching up to do, some structure, and some support to recreate. A community, well, it's made up of community members. So we want you here and we want to be together with you. Now on to the topic for today. When I saw the topic for today, lean into the discomfort, I thought of the author Randy Pausch and his book. It's based on a very upbeat lecture he gave at Carnegie Mellon, and it's titled The Last Lecture, subtitled Really Achieving Your Childhood Dreams. And it was indeed his very last public lecture because, well, he had been given a terminal diagnosis of 3 to 6 months of good health left. And he decided to use his remaining time on this planet to invite you and me, the people of this planet, to think about what wisdom would we impart to the world if we knew it was our very last opportunity to do so. What would we say? And there is a section in his book that he wrote about this. It's called Lessons Learned. And in it, he describes how after some quite radical surgical intervention and high doses of radiation and losing a tremendous amount of weight, he was expecting his body to be clear. And in the book, he talks about this moment where the nurse in the doctor's office leaves the room for a moment but forgets to turn the computer screen off, and so he consults it. And there he sees they've detected 7 tumors on his liver, and with the prognosis, with 3 to 6 months written right there. Now he flashes back, and I invite you to think about this, moving to the day before. And he's at a water park with his wife, and he says this to her: "Even if the scan results are bad, I just want you to know that it feels great to be alive. And to be here today, alive with you. Whatever news we get about the scans, I'm not going to die when we hear it. I won't die the next day, or the day after that, or the day after that. So today, right now, well, this is a wonderful day, and I want you to know how much I'm enjoying it." And then he goes on. He says, "Then I knew that's the way the rest of my life would need to be lived." And he did. Oh, imagine that kind of intentional living in the moments of life, aware both of the discomfort and the freedom also in every moment. In other words, living without shutting down, neither to what is going on, nor to what has yet to be revealed, but instead accepting that somehow, like in our case, that somehow you and I are here in this moment for whatever this moment has for us, and the next moment, and the next moment. Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor, when he was asked why did he write the book that he wrote, he said he wanted to give us, the readers, a concrete example of this, that life holds potential meaning under any circumstances, even the most miserable. Potential meaning in the discomforts of life. Possible significance in life's moments. Meaning that remains to be unlocked by the creative mind that is our spiritual inheritance. Now, I've taken great strength from that Viktor Frankl's quote. I haven't been in a concentration camp or anything like that. Still, his words have given me a new respect for those moments of struggle. Now I look at them not so much as things to turn away from and flee from, but to be present for and to lean into for the potential meaning that is in them. And now I ask myself, when I can remain conscious, how can I stay engaged with life? And how may I reveal more meaning in whatever it is that is going on? Because the reality is that life life presents incredible hardships. And our teaching shows us ways to navigate through it by maintaining self-respect and generating love for self and one another. And maybe that's one of the possible meanings in life Viktor Frankl is talking about, that there are options for how we respond to life. For example, the 2 options we're considering today, I'll characterize them like this. On one hand, lean into the discomfort, don't check out. And on the other hand, turn away from the discomfort and affirm the goodness of life? Which is it? What if it isn't either or? What if it's both? So let's explore that a little bit, because each of these approaches, well, they have benefits and they have challenges. So let's begin with the challenges in the two approaches. Number one, if I turn away from life's challenges and affirm the goodness of life and make a habit of not dealing with life, that can lead to something called spiritual bypass. Number two, if I lean into the discomfort of life and get so comfortable there that it leads to catastrophizing or obsessive negative focus, that can lead to despair, or what is known now as languishing. A while ago, I was languishing. And I was complaining to a friend about it. And when I say complaining, I mean complaining bitterly. I would say I was on a roll. And I would say that it felt good. It did. Have you ever been on one of those rolls? Yeah. And then at some point he said to me gently, he just looked at me with compassion, and he said, "Okay, I've heard enough." And I was stunned. How dare he? The reality is I had slipped into a mood. I said I was on a roll, but I was rolling downhill into hopelessness. In that moment, the only thing that mattered to me was the thoughts and the feelings I had about the trouble that I was dealing with. No matter that the sky was blue. No matter that my body was still functioning very well. No matter that I was in the company of somebody I adored and who loved me. I couldn't see any of it. See, I had talked myself into believing that I was leaning into the problem because I didn't want to be one of those people who did spiritual bypass. And in truth, I really did need the venting, don't you know? I needed that. But here is what really happened. I leaned so far into it that I fell over. Somewhere without noticing it, I crossed a line. What I was doing was A, no longer helpful to me or useful, was B, not really uncovering new insights or potential meaning, or C, it was not trying, I was not trying to understand anything more, because the place I found myself in, I would say was the negative mirror image of spiritual bypass. Because I had abandoned my spirituality. So spiritual bypass, the opposite, is when a person, like you and me, doesn't deal with life's hardships at all in a safe, practical, methodical, professional way, because they're busy spiritualizing it by affirming the good. For example, a person who does not go to a doctor to seek out medical intervention because they're affirming that Spirit has got them and will heal them. Now, the opposite to spiritual bypass is when a person abandons their inner spiritual practice, the truth of their being, entirely by giving all of their time and attention and effort digging into the physical, practical, logical hardships, that aspect. You know, for example, when a person does not bring their spirituality with them into the doctor's office. It's tricky because we live in the spiritual world. I mean, the physical world, and we're spiritual beings. So we're to bring the two together. And I think we do that by leaning into the whole experience of being a spiritual human being without leaving any part of ourselves behind. And that's why I believe it's appropriate, actually, to have venting available, complaining, well, especially in a professional environment. I love spiritual coaching too. I value it and I recommend it because sometimes we do need to get that out. So I'm not the kind of person to deny all of that. Like recently, for example, I had a challenge that was so intense for me that I noticed my head was so deep into it, again, that I forgot everything I had learned about my spiritual life. Have you been there? So I made an appointment with a prayer practitioner. And I got onto Zoom with my prayer practitioner, and she listened to me beautifully. She listened to me describe the problem in detail. Once again, I was in it. And she gave me all the time that I needed, and then at some point, just like with the conversation with my friend, she paused the conversation and gently asked me, "What is it you would like to experience instead?" Can you feel the shift? Now, it would have been very difficult for me to get to that instead world if she hadn't created the safety for me to lean into the discomfort with her. Because when we don't have the freedom to talk about our problems, or when we don't feel heard or seen or witnessed, it's difficult to move into high-minded thinking. And yet, at the same time, there comes a moment when that is exactly what we need to do. At some point, I must use the creative power that is my spiritual inheritance. You know that conversation with my friend earlier on? He gave me a gift because remember he said, I've heard enough. But that's not all he said. He carried on. The next thing he said was, "Now tell me, what is the highest thought you have about this situation you're complaining about?" And that's such a beautiful moment because I got it in that moment. I wanted an answer, but I was fixated on the problem. I wanted resolution, but it seemed I was really committed to being right. I was looking for an improvement, but it didn't appear that I was willing to change a thing. I was so up in my head thinking that I think I forgot that I was alive. You and I are alive right now. And what we have to bring to the world and our relationships and our neighborhoods and our work and pastime, what we have to bring to the world comes from that aliveness right now. I'm thinking of Randy Pausch, the author's comment to his wife, "So today, right now, well, this is a wonderful day, and I want you to know how much I'm enjoying it." And I want to practice finding that place in consciousness. When my friend said to me, "What is your highest thought about the situation?" keep in mind how it brought me back to life. It reminded me that there is a creative power in me that connects me to everything. And keep in mind, he wasn't saying to me, "Suppress your feelings or your anger." No, he listened to my story. He listened to it twice. He wasn't saying, "Deny your disappointment." No, he was compassionate. He wasn't saying, "Stuff your feelings down." No, he was present for them. He witnessed them. He saw my discomfort. He didn't say, pretend there's nothing going on. No, what he was saying to me is, I hear you, I see you, and now let's look up from this situation. And while you're in it, while you're in the situation, I invite you to tell yourself the spiritual truth about your life as it is right now. That part of you that stays the same no matter what is going on. And keep in mind also that the most important part of my encounter with my friend and my prayer practitioner, with both of them, is that they listened deeply first. They didn't offer advice. They didn't try to correct me. They didn't try to change my mind. They pulled me deeper into my own spirit by asking questions in a curious, compassionate, authentic, sincere way. They asked about my spiritual life. Now, going back to Randy Pausch, he also says in his book, this upbeat approach to life wasn't always easy during his cancer treatment. And he says, he admits it, sometimes he didn't even know how he was doing emotionally. There was so much going on. He didn't know sometimes if he was just putting on a show or whether he was doing this because he felt obliged to put on a strong front. You see, he's very real about it. And then a friend of his did something that really helped make sense of it for him. She was driving home from work one day, and she found herself driving behind a man in a convertible. Gorgeous day, roof down, his arm hanging out, tapping his finger to the music and head bobbing along. She was watching, and she got up real close, and she saw that smile on the face. That smile, that look when you're really in whatever moment you're in. And that's when she noticed, wait, that's Randy. That's the guy with the horrible cancer diagnosis. And so she wrote to him and said, you can never know how much that glimpse of you made my day, reminding me of what life is all about. What she didn't know was that he needed the email as much as she needed the glimpse. And he said it was a beautiful reminder to him too. Yes, that's what life is all about. So this moment of beautiful mutual support emerged, like a feedback loop of encouragement that takes place. And it's a reminder to me that we touch each other's lives. When we know it and when we don't know it. When we're struggling and when we're not struggling. When we're doing it out of obligation or whether we sincerely are celebrating. We touch each other. Another great author, Chris Ben-Guri, the author of Beyond Courage, he has some words for us about this. He says, what if happiness isn't supposed to be the goal, but rather the byproduct, the side effect of a life worthwhile living, buried deep within the experiences of the ordeals themselves? Now I'm going to say something to you that you might find strange. There is a kind of peace in knowing that some of life's challenges may never be resolved. Ironically, that idea, that awareness actually helps me deal with life and its disappointments and its challenges and its confusions and paradoxes. That awareness helps me stay present for whatever is going on, because now I can ask myself, what is the highest thought I have about this? What is the additional meaning to be unlocked? What is here now? at the very end of Randy's last lecture. He summed up his presentation like this. So today's talk was about achieving childhood dreams. But did you figure out it was a head fake? It's not about how to achieve your dreams. It's about how to lead your life. If you lead your life the right way, the karma will take care of itself, and dreams will come to you. I invite you to take a breath in with me. And as you exhale, let your eyes close as I read to you the spiritual mind treatment from our book of prayers of wisdom and vision for the week of June 13th. The love of the divine is unlimited, expansive, and unconditional. The love of the divine is present in all of creation, fully active everywhere, all of the time. The love of the divine, expansive and unlimited, inclusive and all-powerful, is present and available in me, through me. I have full access to this love, and knowing that allows me to practice releasing blocks to love. It allows me to practice forgiveness. It allows me to let my heart open to a fuller, more profound experience of love. The love of Spirit within me sustains me and lifts me. And it causes me to find my way moment to moment and to live in that love wherever I go. I wake up in love. Love restores my energy. Love expresses itself through me as joy in this world. I'm grateful for this realization about my relationship to divine love and how love is in me and in my life, as me and through me. And I release this word of prayer into that aspect of the divine we call spiritual law. And I release it with faith and trust that now that it is spoken and known, it is true and done. And so it is. I invite you to take another breath in with me. Sit for a moment in contemplation with me. And let the next breath you take be even deeper than the one before, as we use the movement of breath in our bodies to bring us to awareness of the activity of the room, because what's next for us is our activity of community building. And I want to make some acknowledgments, first of all, to 6 of our 2021 graduates, 6 CSLSR teens, no longer teens anymore, who graduated just this past week. Dylan Jansen, Aaron Markowitz, Esther Rose Pacheco, Alex Gatmayton, Isabella Natalini, and Sofia de la Cruz. And if you'd like to see their pictures, you can see them on our Facebook group. Now, I know some people have said to me, I don't use Facebook, and I've canceled my Facebook account. Well, I have a little secret for you. You do not need a Facebook account in order to see our Facebook group. Did you know that? You can go to our website, and if you click on Media, there's a drop-down menu, and it'll say there, Facebook group. And if you click that, it'll take you to our Facebook group. Now, of course, Facebook will say, sign up, log in. You don't have to. Just scroll down and you will see all of the content right there for you to enjoy, so you can lurk from the outside. It's one of the ways I keep up to date with our community. For example, it's how I learn about birthdays and how I learned that, for example, Julie Burns is a grandmother again just these last couple of days. And it's also where you will see shortly the photographs of Martha Salazar and Christina Rivera. They got married yesterday. So that's one of the places that we keep up to speed. So I invite you to check us out there. And also, you'll hear in the announcements that will follow in a moment, our president, Nancy Reynolds, will reaffirm the invitation to come and join us in person. So I invite you to let your friends know, because there may be some people who are waiting. Tell them, wait no longer. Come to service. So let's enjoy some moments of community building through our announcements.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy Reynolds, the president of the Center's Board of Trustees. I am here today to share with you some announcements. Today, June 13th, is the final day when we will be requiring online advance registration to attend our 9 a.m. in-person service. That means you can just show up on Sundays and come on in. We'll be putting more chairs in the sanctuary so we can welcome back even more people. I should mention we will still be requiring everyone to wear a mask when at the center, so please do be prepared for that. And we will see you soon. If you, your family, and friends want to watch the service at home, there are several ways to do that. The updated links are all on our website, which is cslsr.org. From the homepage, what you want to do is look for the yellow banner that says New Sunday Links, and you'll find all the different ways under that banner link. And then also the links are also in the bulletin, which is also available on the website. Please note that our Being and Belonging group, which is the discussion circle on diversity and inclusion, is taking June and July off. The group will return in August. On Sunday, June 20th, there is a workshop presented by Reverend Jacqueline Edwards. She encourages us to live unapologetically from grace. She'll be sharing a bit more about the workshop in a video after these announcements. The last thing, as always, I'd like to remind you, our practitioners are available to pray with you following this service and also after the 11 a.m. showing of the service on Facebook. Just go to that yellow banner that I mentioned a moment ago, the New Sunday Links on the website homepage, and look for the link for after service prayer. Well, there you go. I hope you have a wonderful week, and thank you. Thank you so much for being part of our amazing spiritual community.
Hi, Reverend Jacqueline here, inviting you to join me in my June 20th workshop, Unapologetically Living from Grace. Grace is most succinctly defined as unearned favor. Grace is also one of the most magnificent ways that we have to consciously live from, come from an attitude and a way of being that expands our sphere of availability to increase. Availability to increased love, health, joy, and availability to increased grace. Please join me. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Claire Victor, a prayer practitioner emeritus here at the center, but I also work with sound as a healing vehicle. Now, in Science of Mind, we teach that healing is a revelation of wholeness, that which is already within us, around us, and through us. But if you're like me, sometimes the stress of day-to-day living can get my mind going a mile an hour, and I forget to come home to my compassionate heart. So using Tibetan sound bowls and my crystal sound bowls and an array of other instruments, this is your invitation to practice some compassionate self-care. I'll be using guided meditation and chakra healing and creating this place where we can drop under the stress of our noisy minds into that place of deep repose, rest, to relax and recalibrate the nervous system, so to say. So I hope that you can join us, and I look forward to meeting you there. Namaste.
Hello. Okay, wow, that sound of that ball, I can see how that would be, I want to go there. Oh my goodness. You know what I forgot to mention also is that our new assistant minister, Reverend Russ, who some of you met when he was here, is beginning his journey across the country from Chicago to Santa Rosa. He's driving, and as you know, he's committed to post videos along the way to take us with him, and so you can see that on our Facebook group also. After the benediction today, we will have a song, and then we will open the doors so that you can leave. And for those people who want to sit back so that the leaving, make some space, socially distanced space, we will scroll comments from our community. Somebody asked me, what is that about? Well, they come to us in the mail. People write things in the mail when they send in their checks, and they're so beautiful. We realized we've been hoarding the good. So we just put them on every week, and if ever you need a boost, just go to any one of our older services, go to the end and watch the scrolled comments. It's so uplifting. So now I invite you to know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. I invite you to enjoy the closing song, after which the doors will be opened. Thank you for being here.
I open my heart to a new beginning. A new beginning starts today. Spirit within me moves me, and I'm open. It's a new beginning. I open my heart to a new beginning. A new beginning starts today. Spirit within me moves me, and I'm open. It's a new beginning. Every beat of my heart is a new beginning. Every breath I take is a new beginning. Every thought I think is a new beginning. Every song I Thank you.